Hello, this is Kat Treadgold. Welcome to My Characters Interview Me, Part 1. Today I'm meeting with George Reed Masters, the star in Mr. Movie Star. George, I hear you have some burning questions. Fire away. You know, I'm surprised you decided to feature me in a book after all the mischief I caused in your other books. Why frame me as a romantic hero now? You weren't so bad. You did make a bit of a pest of yourself with Maddie and Lisette. It was that scene in The Fallen Man where you asked Lisette to become your private chef that got me thinking of the woman who could finally land you. Also, the road trip you took with the guys in The Changed Man. A bit humbling, that was, but you took their ribbing like a champ. You almost killed me. And as for the ribbing, what choice did I have? With those four he-men all ganged up against me. Clearly, you've got a soft spot for guys like me. One of the types of men I used to go for in my younger and stupider days was what I called Irish pixies. On Saturday mornings, for a while, I would watch Errol Flynn theater on TV. I was maybe 12. I fell hard for that scamp. Let me stop you right there. Irish pixie? And Errol Flynn? Really? He was Australian. How many of your readers even know who he was at this point? Okay, for them, his best-known movie was The Adventures of Robin Hood, and it's still a classic. Errol was an inveterate charmer. He was Irish, but also English and Scottish. Only his eyes were hazel, not blazing blue like yours. Yeah, you've obviously got a thing for that dark hair, blue eyes combo. I'm only half Irish, and Errol was not a good person in so many ways. Can we not get into his dark side? Yes, he was a hard drinker, and that was just to start with. But even in his lesser films, he was always fun to watch. He played a lot of Irish charmers. Gentleman Jim and Captain Blood are my other favorites. Knowing how I felt about Errol, my parents gave me a first edition of his memoir, My Wicked, Wicked Ways, which is cleverly written and brimming with personality. Who knows how much of it is true, but who cares? He was a legend, and he lived hard. He was loved and hated, and some of the haters spread a lot of bunk about him. By the age of 50, he looked like an old man, but then he had a heart murmur and recurring malaria and other health issues the studio didn't want known. He will always live on in my memory as Robin Hood when he was in his prime. Like Michael Caine, he wrote witty, entertaining, and self-deprecating memoirs as well as a novel. Like you, George, he did not think of himself as an actor, even though he proved it often enough on screen. Didn't you play Maid Marian in some musical? Yes, I did. It was a theater for young audiences show that toured the East Coast. I sang and fought with a broadsword, and I saved Robin Hood at the end in a climactic fight with Prince John. Aha, a revisionist Robin Hood. So, I guess you've had a few of those Irish pixie types in your own life. I used to be a sucker for charm, and those guys had it in spades. Not surprisingly, they had short attention spans, but then so did I. I like to think that one or two of them eventually got tired of playing the field and fell in love for real. At least, that's the fantasy that fueled this story. Is your husband Irish? No, he's Swedish and German, but his eyes are hazel, like Errol's. Thanks for joining me today, George. But I have more questions. Save them for next time.